largest concern is really the ice and how much ice is going to accumulate, and then the combination of that ice with the wind. And that's because ice adds a tremendous amount of weight to trees, tree limbs, wires, and other equipment. And when you combine that, certainly with wind, it can have significant damage to our system as tree limbs and trees and equipment, wires come down. To give you an idea, just a half an inch of radial ice, so that's ice kind of covering, say, a wire, is the equivalent of having a baby grand piano on that single span of wire. So the weight is significant for our system, and we normally don't see this kind of ice accumulation. So that's the concern. So fortunately, we have very few outages on our system, but the forecast is that we will see more ice. The forecast actually is showing a risk for the potential of a half an inch of ice or more in Oakland, Livingston, Washtenaw counties. So that's the concern. And that ice has the potential to build really from now until about 10 p.m. tonight. So that's what we'll be watching very closely. Now, ice is probably the hardest thing for weather forecasters to predict. Just a degree or two, plus or minus, can have a significant impact. So we don't know if we'll see those levels of ice or not, but if we do, certainly we'll expect to see damage on our system. And so that's what we're preparing for. We've been watching this weather for several days, and we've got several hundred public safety teams ready to go. We've got well over 1,000, almost 1,500 line workers ready to go, including about 400 individuals that are currently coming in from other states. And we've stood up our incident command organization. That's the group that really leads, executes processes, and coordinates all this work across our teams. So we're ready to go, ready to work hard protecting the public and work on restoration. And that's something, if this ice does come to pass, we'll be out there 24/7 until every customer is back on. Just a couple of comments on safety. So safety, of course, is our number one priority. Hopefully it's everyone's top priority. And as I said, this kind of weather, if we see that ice building, it's going to bring a lot of weight to those wires. So we are going to have a significant number of wires that come down. That's the biggest concern around safety. And everyone needs to be very aware and diligent. Please watch your surroundings. Please stay away from down wires. And anything that the down wires may be touching, like a fence, stay at least 25 feet back. Look out for our yellow caution tape. Our folks are going to be out there putting up tape. Please respect that tape. Don't cross the tape. And then the other big thing we talk about is make sure you're not running portable generators indoors. That can be very dangerous. Never do that. It emits carbon monoxide, and that can be deadly. So you need to keep those outside. So we've got weather moving through now. Fortunately, so far, so good. But if that ice accumulates, it is going to be something that's going to cause damage, and we're going to have to react to. We are prepared and ready to go and ready to work 24/7 until if we see those outages, until we have everybody restored. So with that, again, thank you for joining, and I'll pause for any questions.
Kim, Craig, it looks like you had a question.
Hi, yeah, thanks so much for doing this, you guys. And yeah, when it comes to the ice, what challenges do your line workers experience when they're trying to restore power on top of just the challenges that they already have dealing with, high voltage lines?
Great question, Kim. Thanks for the question. So ice brings significant unique challenges. And one of the things is we usually don't see an ice storm like this, maybe once every 5 years or so. So it's something that we talk a lot about with our folks. We've had a number of huddles and discussions about the unique challenges with ice. So first and foremost, we've got to make sure you have the ice grippers, either special shoes or ice grippers on your shoes for even exiting your car and walking around parking lots and traversing from point A to point B. A lot of stuff can be coming down if this ice builds, tree branches, even ice itself. So don't park underneath trees. look down as well as look up. And then obviously for our folks climbing poles and other things, it can add some challenges. And we like to say slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So take your time, take and be smooth, and above all, keep safety first. Thank you.
If I could ask one other follow-up question, typically, and it's been a long time, so you have to forgive me since I've covered weather, but I thought I heard some years back that typically there are about 3,000 power outages just on a normal day. But I noticed this morning in looking at your outage map that was really significantly less. So what do you guys run just as a normal day?
Yeah, a normal day, I mean, we like to see certainly less than 1,000 folks out in a day, and a lot of times we're in the 2 to 500. So it does tend to range there, but if we get ice build up, we're certainly going to see that grow over time.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Corey, you had a question?
Yeah, it's Corey at the AP. Quick question for you. How many outages do you guys have now that are specifically related to the storm? And over the last day, I've seen a lot of crews up and down utility lines. It looks like they were checking tree branches. Was that you guys?
Well, yeah, in all likelihood, if you're in Southeast Michigan, that's going to be us. And so, yeah, we're out there. We have folks out there every day trimming trees and making upgrades and repairs to our system. So I'm sure that was our folks out there. Absolutely. And I apologize. What was the first part of your question?
Oh, I tend to be long-winded. How many outages are you guys experiencing right now that are directly related to the ice buildup in the storm?
Oh, fair enough. So to our knowledge, we're not seeing any outages related to the ice itself. Sometimes we can see some modest outages here and there. We are getting some wind. We're in the mid 30s, and some of the moisture and the wind together can cause some things here and there, but it's usually not much of an issue. So specific to the ice, we don't see any outages yet. That's the good thing.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, if I could, how do your folks monitor? This is Kim again. I'm sorry, Channel 7. How do your folks monitor? I don't want to say necessarily the forecast, but how do you monitor things when you start seeing things starting to, I don't know what the right word is, decay or problems popping up? Is that what's happening in your command center? Do you suddenly start seeing, different areas start popping up where you're seeing lines down, and how does that work?
Yeah, great question. So it's a combination of the folks in our command center and then our folks out in the field. And I'll talk through each of those. So in our command center, we have meteorologists on staff. We have modeling that we do, weather and forecasting modeling, and then we also work with sort of best-in-class forecasters and modeling companies. So we have a lot of information from a forecasting and modeling perspective. And then we combine that with, we have a number of service centers across our territory in Southeast Michigan. We have folks staged in locations across Southeast Michigan. So we're getting direct and immediate input from them on a regular basis. That all flows back into our incident command center for us to be able to organize that data and make decisions and be out there executing for our customers.
And then lastly, are you guys able to forecast, if you will, the number of outages that you expect, just based on experience and your models?
So we do. We do that for each weather event that comes through. Absolutely. This one, as I said, is one of the trickier ones, because a degree up, 1 degree up or 1 degree down can make a huge difference in how much ice we're going to see, and that's really what's going to dictate how many outages we see in this event.
Can you give a number or what you're anticipating?
Yeah. Good question, Kim. Sorry. So again, the fortunate thing is we have very few outages on our system currently, but if we see a half an inch or more of ice, it certainly wouldn't be out of the question to see a few 100,000 outages or thereabouts.